What is up, Flick fans, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about Midsommar, or Midsommar. The director has actually been calling it Midsommar, but I'm going to say Midsommar because I'm from Kentucky. I need to know in the comments down below, did you guys watch this movie? You freaking out a little bit? Are you unnerved by the entire experience? We're going to discuss all of these things today, and let's talk about Midsommar. So a young couple travels to Sweden to visit their friend's rural hometown and attend its Midsummer Festival. What begins as a retreat quickly descends into an increasingly violent and bizarre competition at the hands of a pagan cult. And yep, that's the most Ari Aster thing I have ever seen in my life, especially after seeing Hereditary. Listen, I was a massive fan of Hereditary. I know it's not for everyone. If you look at the cinema score, wasn't very high. I believe that film's cinema score was a D+, so people walked out of that movie not knowing what the heck did I just watch. But thinking about Hereditary and thinking back to that moment when I first saw it, yes, I was a bit confused at times. Yes, I was scared out of my mind at some of the imagery, but I loved the experience. It's by far one of the best movies of last year, and the more I think about it, the more I watch it, the more I love it. And I feel like Midsommar is going to be the exact same way. On rewatch, this film is going to go in two different directions. It's either going to go up in quality, or I'm going to be more confused at what the heck did I just watch, man? I walked out of that theater, I'm just like, ugh, like, you just have that eerie feeling. Let's unpack this for just a second. So, this is apparently a script that Ari Aster wrote after a bad breakup, because this film revolves around not necessarily a bad breakup, just a relationship that's going through some struggles, going through some tension, and you can feel that tension, one, between two incredible actors, Florence Pugh, we'll get to her in just a second, and Jack Reynor, who is one of my favorite actors in the business. Ever since I saw him in Sing Street, I knew the guy would blow up eventually. I don't know if this is it just yet, but starring next to Florence Pugh in this film is a huge step up, and of course Will Poulter, who always kills it every single time. The entire supporting cast, everyone is as creepy as they need to be, or as freaked out as they need to be, because you have these pedestrians basically going into the situation that they don't know what they're in for, right? You have someone writing a thesis on different places around the world. The character of Mark is trying to figure some things out, and they start coming across things that get weirder and weirder and weirder. One scene in particular that will go down as one of the most scarring scenes I have seen in a long, long time. There's actually couple in my theater, they got up and they walked right out. I'm like, y'all did not know what you're in for. You just didn't see Hereditary. And that's the thing, an audience going into this film, you have to know what you are in for. Midsommar is not a movie that will scare you to death. It is not a cliche studio horror film. Ari Aster, you know who he is if you have seen Hereditary. You know what he is capable of. He focuses on the details, the things happening in the background. And I'm sure there are shots that I missed, but I noticed so many things happening behind the scenes. The focus is on one specific character, yet if you squint real hard or you pay attention to something that maybe your eye isn't drawn toward, you will see something happening, or a symbol, or an image that you have to keep in mind for later on in the film. Everything seems to have had a purpose. Now, do I have all of the answers for this film? No. Was I a bit confused about certain things when it comes to the plot? Absolutely, but I found on second watch Hereditary, it answered more of my questions, and I was able to focus more on what I wasn't supposed to focus on the first time. The characters, you're focused more on the answers to the questions, right? And I got more answers to that film, and like I said, I think that movie is incredible. This is the same thing, right? Midsommar is a movie that will take you on this journey, on this ride, and it throws you into it at the main beginning with Jack Reynor, who, like I said, is so good in this movie as an actor, and he really impressed me in this film. But then you have Florence Pugh. The emotion that she shows in this movie is some of the best I have seen all year, in the last few years. Toni Collette was the best performance I saw in 2018. She got completely snubbed for an Oscar nomination. Not that that completely matters, but you know, it would have been nice for her to have that. Florence Pugh, the same thing. Best performance I have seen in 2019. Male, female, doesn't matter. Mark it down. She is so good because of the emotion that she displays, and because you can tell everything that is happening in her head. Now, you can tell that with all of the main and side players that get themselves into the situation because they, like the audience, like us sitting back and watching Ari Aster take us on this journey, they're freaking out. And the whole time they're like, okay, listen, I don't know what's going on, but that guy / girl should not be doing that right now. And it's all just unnerving and strange, and you get chills just thinking about the entire experience. I love the contrast of colors. The movie starts out very dark. It reminded me of Hereditary, and I'm like, okay, this has to brighten up eventually because you know what you're in for just from the trailers. And as soon as it brightens up, the tone doesn't change in a bad way, but things start to become lighter and happier, and everyone has a smile on their face in this cult per se, and you're like, okay, clearly something's about to go down. But what happens in this movie, even though it is kind of expected from the director and the route you think this movie is going to go down, it still manages to freak you out and creep you out because of the imagery, the setup, the direction, and the finale, the final few scenes, and that moment in particular that I was talking about. You guys will know it when you see it. Don't want to say, I don't even want to give away what it could be. And it's really odd. I'm conflicted with the fact that this movie is more audience-friendly in a way than Hereditary, and then less audience-friendly. It's more audience-friendly because I think people expect this to be a movie about a really freaky cult, so they know things are going to go down in a sense, and there is humor in this movie. So many funny moments in this film. I think Will Poulter's character was hilarious, and just the situations they get themselves in, and the way they act when Florence Pugh's character comes into the room because things are awkward. There's a lot of tension in that relationship, and that entire storyline I thought works super well, but like I said, a lot of humor, so I think the audience will be laughing. They'll be like, oh, this is a nice movie, and then the stuff starts to happen, and that's where I shift over to less audience-friendly, because where Hereditary went over the top, especially in the final few moments, this movie takes that and they say, no, we're going to go even crazier, even more outlandish, and less jump scary, which the audience tends to appreciate and like. You see a higher cinema score if there are more jump scares, right? Because that's what they expect. That's what they think they're in for with the horror film, and more tension-building imagery that's going to get stuck in your brain, freak you out, and then the unanswered questions. It doesn't spoon-feed the audience, and I think that's going to frustrate some people. People are going to walk out and say, well, I didn't get all of the answers to my questions. Well, that could be because you watched the movie once. That could be because you were so freaked out you weren't paying attention like you should have been. It could be like the couple next to us, and the whole time they're just talking as loud as they could, and the girl literally drops her phone like 5 times, and I'm like, what are you doing? But even with the distractions in the audience, my wife and I, we knew what we were in for. You have to be in the right mindset for this film because it will freak you out, it will unnerve you, it will do exactly what I hoped it would do. It will blow your mind, and you're going to be sitting back going, I don't know why Austin told me to watch this, but you're hopefully going to appreciate the unnerving nature of the movie, the beautiful color correction, my God, one of the best looking movies I've seen all year, the incredible cinematography that you expect with Ari Aster and everyone he gets involved with his crew, guys. The movie looks amazing, the score is remarkable, the characters are written so well, the film is weird. Yes, I think that's the word that some people are going to use, but it's weird in a really good way, in a very artistic way. If you're not into an artistic movie, do not go watch Midsommar. If you are into that kind of thing and you love this director, I recommend it. I'm going pretty high with my score. It could go even higher on a rewatch. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave it a thumbs up. If you want more reviews like this, going 92% for this movie. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I actually loved it. One of my favorite movies of the year. It's everything I wanted it to be, and I really hope I can watch this again, get more answers to my questions. That's the thing rating a movie like this. You don't have everything you need on first watch. Keep up with all of my reviews and my diary on my Letterboxd page because I will watch this again, and I will probably update my score. You guys are the best. As always, stay tuned to this channel for more videos to come. So many things coming your way this week, and I'll catch you very soon.